Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Today we will be looking at some mods, and also I want to announce that I've been working on a new series called Flashback Sunday that I will most likely do every Sunday or every other Sundays. It's about we going back in time a little bit and test out the old comp that we used to have, such as the one that you see on the screen right now, and see how they do today in today's meta and with today's skill set available as well. So in this video, we are going to see Earth Genghis Khan. This was very good back then. I think it was 1.5, 2 years ago, before all the chaos came like and become very meta. Before that, we had Earth Khan. For mid spenders, this was very good. Also, even before the artifact was a thing, it was very good back then as well. I remember the first 1, 2, or 3 KVKs that was released into the game. A lot of people were using this mod and were really, really strong and got good result with that. And in this video, we are going to try this mod out with the newer skill or the newer 3 skills and stuff like that. And I will try it in against PvE and also in the PvP, so we can see if this mod still work in today's meta. So before we go into the game, we have to take a look at the skills that the immortals used to have before and what they basically have now, or the most meta right now. And you can see some of the evolution in the builds. So you can see on the Charles here, the first 5 on the top line, I would say, is the old build, more free to play friendly. Back then we didn't have all these kind of skills available. So back then we had we were using Shelter, Fighting Master, or Organ Shield, sometimes Adrenaline Rush and Lifelink on Charles. And if you compare to nowadays, we're probably going to use Guard, Fighting Master. Either you're going to use, No Escape or Weakening Curse. Really depends on the situation, but in general, probably going to use Guard, Fighting Master, Weakening Curse. But back then, from what I remember and I saw a lot of people were using, is one of the aura might be Shelter, and then you have Fighting Master to counter another Earth team as well. And then some people were running Lifelink, some people were running Adrenaline Rush. So it works, it was pretty good back then. And Charles is a meta mod and still very good immortal to this date. Back then he was very, very OP, and even with this kind of build, he is very strong. As for Alex, back in the day we were using Cleave, and if you were playing KVK for a couple of times, you probably unlocked the win rage. If not, you probably were using something like Combo. And sometimes I didn't put Anger here, but I think a lot of people prefer Dual Master instead, because of the you can't cancel the healing from for example, Genghis Khan. If you meet somebody who had Genghis Khan or Qin Emperor, you can wound them so you can get healed, and people were using this skill Dual Master to counter that. So, and of course the last one being Physical Shield. This one was popular a bit later than the one I mentioned before, because most of the time people were using Alex or Hannibal, and to prevent that from dying very fast, people were using Physical Shield to counter Alex and stuff like that, and it worked out very, very well. And if you go in the modern time, not modern time, but into today, a lot of people were probably having a lot of 3 skills already, and people have been grinding for a couple of months, couple of years, depending how far you are into the game. Most common build for Alex nowadays is Blade Vortex, Executioner combo, very, very good combo. very reliable combo as well. And then you have assembly charge and newer skills that came into the KVK shop, which in my opinion worth take a look into, especially for the newer players. Don't sell the fragments. This is a very good skill. Also, as another KVK skill is Berserker. Berserker is a quite not a new skill, but not the OG. It's one of the OG KVK skills that you can get. It's actually pretty good, and it's for some instances it's very good, and a lot of people is using this skill for Alex if Alex is in the second or third match. As for demonic contract is also very good if you don't have either assembly shards yet or executioner. This is very good skill, and I see a lot of people using battle stance here as well. So yeah, it's working pretty well. So I'm gonna try some of these skills in the build that I'm gonna show you guys later in this video. So before we do that, let's go take a look at the backliners. Now let's take a look at our backliners in Genghis Khan and Zenobia skill set. I remember them vividly, how good they were back then, and when the artifact came out, the EA for Genghis Khan came out, a lot of the whales were, were testing this in the KVK, and they told the devs that it was broken, so it got nerfed like almost straight away when the EA came, and it's still very good today, but it's not in the top tier meta. But I would say Genghis Khan has been one of the better carries in the game for a very long time. And the first skill, a lot of free-to-play players and the new beginners or the big players were using back then was Death Breath, Anger. Some people use Dual Masters to get the healing from Zenobia, and you have Adrenaline Rush and Fighting Master to have CC immunity, which is pretty good on Genghis Khan. And personally, I ran something like Adrenaline Rush, Death Breath, Death Breath, and Fighting Master on my Khan pretty often, like most of the time, and it was working well, and it was doing very similar damage to Alex back then. But if you take into account nowadays, I think we are taking an approach where Khan have become like an utilizer, second damage dealer. He can deal the damage, but he is more like there to do the healing, like the wound against the enemy's healing team, right? So for the twist skills, I think the Time to Shine gonna be very good. I heard a lot of good things about it, especially with the new specialization stuff coming into the game, and it's gonna be very good with this skill. And we have Blood Frenzy. In theory it sounds very good, right? So because it stacks more damage after each ultimate, so it's gonna be very good. And then you have the Chaos Storm, which is a better version of Death Breath. And then you have Battle Stance, which is going to be very good as well on Khan, especially in this kind of setup. I think it's going to be very good. And you have Corrosive Power, which is very good on Genghis Khan as well. And I'm going to show you guys my build in the game later, because I'm not building exactly like this, but I can do it if we are going to test it as well. But as for Zenobia, the standard one back then everybody was using was assist and absolute defense. Although assist got, I would say, nerfed recently, a couple patches ago. Back then it was pretty good for your backliner for support to have that on your support. And either you can run with sacrifice, which was a good skill as well, but a lot of people were running with either berserk or shelter or maybe malice. Some people probably run with weakness aura as well. I personally didn't need so because I didn't depend on the con so much. I was depending on Alex a lot more. And a little bit newer skill, Wine and Dine was not that new skill, but it was not that the OG one. But when it came out, it definitely helped out the Earth March a lot, and it was pretty good as well. But nowadays, if you compare them, the evolution, we have Spring of Life, which is very, very good aura. We have purifications to counter wound and negative buff and stuff like that. And we have Energy Shield, which is very good skill. And then we have Vitality Touch for the healing support, which is very good. And sometimes this is situational. You have like, the lifelink with the assist combo at the backliner even with absolute defense, which was good in situational, matches where you face off maybe a heavy damage dealer for a backliner. That is pretty good. So yeah, that's kind of the skill set I set up and what I saw the most, experienced most back then. And we are going to try this again today in this video, see if this kind of mod with the newer setup is going to work well or not in this current date. Now that we are in the game, let me show you guys my build for today's testing. I have been using this kind of setup for a while. I find it to be better than some of the skills I mentioned earlier in this video, especially for Khan. I think this setup, having a damage skills or this kind of like corrosive power battle stance on Khan, I don't think really helps my much. So I use Khan as my utilizer, as the second damage dealer, and do the wound to the enemies so that they cannot heal, which is, in my opinion, works better than having a Khan as a damage dealer as well as Alex. Having a 2 damage dealer in theory is very, very good. Like it sounds very good, but after playing for a while, you're gonna notice that if you have 2 damage dealer, one in front, one in the back, most of the time, the one in front, such as Alex, such as Hannibal, will do more damage than the damage dealer from the backline. And I'm gonna show you guys real quick after I tell you guys about my build. So this is the build that I am building to show you guys. I have no escape on the backliner because I could fit the frontliner. Here, the most standard one that you're gonna see in the game with the weakening curse, fighting master, and guard. Sometimes people don't have weakening curse, they're probably gonna use no escape, but in my opinion, weakening curse is very important for your team. And as for Alex, I think Blade Vortex is very good skill. You have Demonic Contract, you have Assembly Charge, which is going to be very, very important for Alex. I'm going to show you guys in the report later. And then for Zenobia, I have Spring of Life, Vitality Touch, and then No Escape. Here you can absolutely switch out with assists. And you know what? Let's do that because I've totally forgot about that skill. So you can switch out to something like this. This is very good as well. And you have Gengshis Khan here for, as I said a little bit, not too long ago. He's gonna be my, damage utilizer. He's gonna do some damage, but he's not gonna carry the team. That's Alex's job. So I put, aura, shield on him, energy shield, and purifications in case I'm gonna meet another person with, maybe Blade Vortex or any continuous damage skills or effects. So yeah, that being said, you know what? Let's test it on a Noom first, so we know how we can, have a look at the reports and see how it goes before we go to the PvP part. So yeah, let's talk about the history of this mod. It has a long history. I see a lot of people were using this mod for a very, very long time. One of the stronger mods in this game back then, 2-3 years ago. And I never forgot this mod because I was going to transfer to this mod until I got like a lightning team instead. So I do kind of regret I didn't use this much more often because this is very good. This is kind of like a normal report gonna look like even in the PvP part of the game. And you can see here that Genghis Khan is doing some damage with his ultimate, which is the goal with this kind of setup. He doesn't need to have like extra damage like anger and stuff like that, because in my opinion, Alex is going to carry. Assembly Charge, the Blade Vortex is going to carry the team, and then you have Charles who can tank with the many, stacking the shield, Terra shield, his ultimate, and you have Zenobia who can heal. So I think this one is a very good build for, anytime. So let's try in the arena. I need to set up the team again. I'm probably gonna lose to some people because the current is only 600k, right? So never mind that. So let's take a look at our team. So let's take away this one. Keep in mind the Earth Dragon is very important, especially nowadays. So let's take a look at what we got here. And then let's go back here like that. So let's try hit somebody like that, and then keep in mind, let's go take a look at Dragon before I go any further, because in today's meta or today's gameplay, I would say for Earth, I think the Aftershock is the best one for Earth, especially with the adding of attack speed for Alex to do the damage. I think that's a game changer from before we didn't have any of these skills. And in my opinion, once they added these skills, like the dragon talent to the dragons, I think the Earth Dragon became one of the better dragons in the game. Probably not the best one in terms of damage, but from utilizing the extra buff you get from the dragon, I think is one of the best. So that being said, let's try. Let's put this as number 1. Did somebody hit me 5 minutes ago? That's fine. Let's hit this person because that's more cape is better for my march. So let's take a look here. So you can see it's still useful. When you read the report's gonna look like this most of the time, right? So yeah, Alex doing the Blade Vortex, Assembly Charge damage is there. It's gonna be very, very good for him. And you can see here, Arrow Storm is actually doing something against Lightning. Let's take a look what he has. Fire. You can see this is going to be like the most common, right? This is going to be the most common. When you look at the report, this is going to come in like damage output. Your ally is going to do most of the carrying. Khan going to be there as a backup carry and going to do some damage as well. And maybe take a look at this one. Yeah, look at that. So this is gonna be, this still work. So this march still work, but if you take a look at, if you meet other marches, like probably, for example, if you want to fight somebody like Jam, I don't know how good it's gonna be, right? Because he has a very good march. You can see that today's marches have evolved like from 2 years ago. So yeah, that's the whole point of this video. You want me to do one more? Let's do one more on Smile, a little bit better. I know I should fight a little bit stronger, but I feel like if I do that, I wouldn't get the results at all. I want to show you guys how it works. If you have these kind of skills that I have, that I showed you guys earlier in this video, then I think it will be good as this. The closest mod that I will show you guys is from, where is he? There we go. Sen. He's using very similar, but he's using with Yi Sun-shin and Theodora instead of Charles and Zenobia. But this one is doing very well against me, and I'm gonna show you guys real quick right there. I lost against him, and you can see that it's doing very good. The damage output is gonna be similar to this on every reports that you're gonna see. You're gonna have Alex carry, you're gonna have Khan as a second damage dealer, and you're gonna have a support, and you're gonna have a tank in front. And yeah, that's it for this video. I think, well, before we end this video, let's conclude a little bit about this mod. What do you think about this mod? I think it's still a good mod. I think it's very usable mod, especially today. And I think a lot of people will enjoy using this mod a lot if they actually have the skill set and stuff like that. And you are in the mid-sized server or in the smaller server, this mod gonna be very, very good for you. So yeah, but if you were in maybe in the whale server, maybe this one's gonna struggle a little bit. You might have to switch out something, like switch out probably Zenobia with Theodora, and yeah, probably only that switching, I would say, and your mod will still be doing very, very good. So yeah, that's it for this video. This is a flashback video, Flashback Sunday for the Earth Con mod, and this mod is very, very good, still perform well, and I would say if you are still looking to do this kind of mod, it will, or it won't disappoint you, but it's not the top tier meta mods you will see in today's meta, but it's gonna give you a good performance. It will carry you in the gnomes, city garrisons, this kind of stuff, like PBE stuff is gonna be very, very good there as well. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thanks you guys for watching. If you listen to me all this way until the end, thank you guys. See you guys in the next video. Have a good day.